So it's day 2 here today, and so we've got the professional event and the ladies event and the amateur event that will all come to a conclusion tonight. So another busy day of pool in the arena and the other 15 tables out there. So we're going to be focusing on the professional event. What can we look forward to in that then today, Dan? I know you're still in it, I believe.
Still in it. Back playing, practicing a little bit more this year. So fingers crossed I'll be on it later. But for now, I think we've got. Obviously Ty the round. This Ben's a three-time world champion. Tom Cousins is a 2-time world champion. That says it all, really.
Yeah.
That's last 32, by the way.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, probably 2 of the best players in the world, as you say, multiple world title holders playing in the last 32. I mean, all Welsh battle as well, just to add a little bit of extra spice into it.
Yeah, I think they've played together a lot as well over the years. So they know each other inside out. I think they actually won the world doubles together as well. So whether or not they're sharing a room, I don't quite know just how in each other's pockets they are. But they're they know each other well enough.
And also we've got the ladies event, and we will see the final of the ladies event later on today. And the strength in depth in the ladies again has gone up a notch this year. Obviously the introduction of Amy Beauchamp, who's the current world champion, who's now on the tour.
She was brilliant in that world final. She was amazing beating Emma Cunningham. Obviously she's got all the sort of big match experience on the live cameras and stuff, but she played a great match, and all of a sudden now, when it's not hard to say, but when the ladies tour first started, there was the same 2 or 3 people winning everything, and that's opened right up now to a good 7 or 8. Now it's opened up to 32. That's gone from strength to strength as well, and there's a lot more potential winners.
So there's going to be another whole host of action, drama that we're going to bring you today. As we said, first matchup, all Welsh battle between Ben Davies and Tom Cousins. That is going to be an absolute stonker. So let's hand you over to Dan Fairway in the commentary box, who will talk you through this first great match.
Thank you, Kev. Yep, good morning and welcome from me as well, and from all of us here at the Carrington House Hotel in Bournemouth. What a match we've got to start off with. An all-Welsh battle between Ben Davies and Tom Cousins, the 2018 World Champion and the 2019 World Championship runner-up. These 2 very similar shirts, and I think that's because they're doubles partners. I think there's a few of these players who have bought this style of shirt all at the same time. You have to say they're looking well on it. And the trophy there behind them, as we have a little bit of social media, a little photo for the Twitter account, for the Facebook account. That's what they're playing for, that trophy just behind Ben Davies there, the 2020 UK professional title. That's the lag done, the hands shaken, and we will be starting off with the famous Tom Cousins break. Probably one of the biggest breakers in the game, Tom, if not the biggest. Although it didn't really work out well for him yesterday, so it will be interesting to see if he changes it up this morning. I have been joined in the commentary box by Kev Barton. Good morning, Kev.
Morning, Dan. Morning, everyone. And we've made the long journey from the arena into the com box. Completely out of breath with that 5-yard trip.
I thought you were breathing pretty heavy.
And what a match to get things underway. The last 32 match between 2 of the best players in the world. We had this yesterday with Mark Boyle and Tom Cousins. And we've got it again today with Ben and Tom. This will be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll weigh on Tom's mind at all. The fact that it's a very similar start to yesterday, into the last 32, and he's on the stream against one of the best players in the world. But either way, he's made a ball off his first break, so he's off to a better start than he made yesterday.
That always helps. But yeah, he's probably going to. I mean, he's a pretty, easygoing guy, Tom. But he must be thinking, well, I could have had some easier draws.
There's definitely easier draws in the competition than Ben Davies and Mark Boyle, that's for sure.
Could have got me. It doesn't get much easier than that.
Not in the second round.
I could have had a bye.
Yeah, okay. Either way, I guess for a player of Tom's calibre, he's gonna. Will he be that bothered about this draw? He knows that he's going to have to beat these players if he's going to win this.
Well, I don't know Tom that well, but I don't think you would be not human to think, crikey, I've had a bit of a stinker this weekend.
Yeah.
And, you know, the shot he just played previously, we had to screw back, he was a bit tentative on it. It was a little bit, he did underscrew it by a good foot or so. So he's recovered the situation with a nice pot there, but he's still got a little bit of work to do to get position. So it'll be just interesting to see how he settles into this match. That is a top draw positional shot. That shows tremendous knowledge and understanding of the white ball and the path that it was going to go through there. That was a fantastic positional shot. Made it look easy.
Yeah, there was not a huge gap between those yellows, considering he was coming off the cushion. This might be the frame he needs to settle him down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even though he's, both these guys are multiple world title winners, until you win that first frame, get that first dish out of the way, you never feel like you're in the match. And I think Tom's going to be feeling pretty good about things right now after that breaking dish. And Ben just sat in his chair for that one.
Yeah, Ben won't be too bothered either. He knows that he's going to get his opportunity next up. Again, make a ball off the break and he'll be hoping to clear it. It really is that simple, this game, sometimes, as long as you're good.
Yeah, I think that's where I've gone wrong a little bit.
Davies to break, trailing 1-0.
But yeah, for anyone who's new to pool, new to black ball, be used to watching, football over the weekend or some good rugby, and none of that on, unfortunately. And if you're tuning into pool for the first time, then I hope you're enjoying it and watching some of the best players in the world coming to you live and free on your phone, tablet, iPlayer, whatever method you choose to watch it on.
There's certainly worse ways to spend a Sunday morning.
Extension called.
Slightly trickier layout here for Ben. Don't think it would be as tricky if he could get to a red to start him off, but I'm not sure he's got any option at all, so I think he's going to have to take this yellow he's looking at. Bridging over, tough shot.
In bottom corner.
It's a beauty.
Wow. That's a great opening shot. You just sat in your chair for the first few minutes and watch your opponent breaking dish, and to pull out a great shot like that, that's it shows the class of these players.
Still got a problem though with the yellow he's closest to. He could potentially play the yellow he's looking at now, the one closest to the top of the table, off this top cushion, and then try and dislodge that yellow from that red, because at the moment it doesn't go anywhere. I think that's what he's doing, and he's playing it with the rest. This is going to be very, very tough. But if he gets it, all of a sudden the frame's opened up for him.
Yeah, not a piece of equipment many pool players will use in a season, let alone a match.
10 seconds.
If he makes the pot, the natural angle should. He's missed the pot. So if he'd have made the pot, the natural angle would have dislodged that red and yellow.
He has missed the pot. He has got second prize. It's not a bad cover of a pocket, that. And these reds certainly aren't on for Tom. He's got a lot of work to do here if he's going to take this finish on.
10 seconds.
He could play safe. He could move this red on the right, go in behind the other one.
Yeah, a bit of a collector's item there. Tom Cousins' safety shot. Well,
Total sneaker.
crikey, you don't often see any of them for months on end.
No, certainly is. I think Ben's got a good chance of getting out of this though, and he's got a good chance of potting actually if he hits the yellow that's welded to that left side cushion. That's what he's gone for. Great shot. What a shot that is. Just a nice little double plant to start the morning off.
Yeah, just wait till he gets warmed up. Has he got the angle to just come past that red to dislodge the yellow? He has. They make those shots look so easy, and that if he'd have hit the yellow maybe a millimetre thicker or a little thinner, he wouldn't have been able to make that contact. You know, it's literally those sort of margins.
Yeah, this really is a very, very good start by both players. I don't know whether Tom will regret maybe playing that safety shot, because although in theory it was the right shot against most players, I think against Ben it was a pretty routine escape, and he was almost guaranteed to make the pot if he got a good contact.
It's a fair point. I mean, he did play pretty as good a snooker as he could have done. But yeah, I mean, knowing how good these guys are, should he have gone for some crazy finish to at least have a chance?
It's just that it was never going to be more than a one cushion escape.
Oh, look at that. That is poetry.
Beautiful cue ball control from Ben Davies.
Frame.
Well, there you go. That's what it takes to become a world champion, just having that armoury in your locker to pull out superb shots. And we're going to see the replay of the snooker escape. And that couldn't have worked out any better.
That is a wonderful shot. It really is. Tom Cousins, though, will have the chance to respond immediately. It is his break again. And he really does have I mean, these two are both
Frame number
incredible
3. Tom
breakers,
Cousins to
actually.
break. 1 frame all. Sound running.
Not that they're not fantastic pool players in their own right for everything else, but I think breaking is probably both of their most strong suit. Well, the cue ball flirted with that right corner pocket, but it didn't go in. And Tom has made a ball.
Yeah, he did that in the first frame. He did flirt with that bottom right-hand corner again. So it's just not quite. I mean, it was a little bit unlucky how it got there, but yeah, it's interesting that he's reverting to the cut break when he's generally renowned for being hitting the front ball and absolutely scaring the living daylights out of anyone who's sat within 20 metres. But looks like he's been working on his break and looking at different options, and he's played the cut break pretty much throughout his match with Mark Boyle, and seems to be favouring it in this match.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but for me it's the table, the TV table this weekend, and it will change throughout the season as it does for no apparent reason. It just seems to be favouring the cut break. Every time I've seen a player take on the front ball break consistently, it hasn't worked for them. They've left simple finishes for their opponents. They've been getting good splits and good contacts, but they haven't made balls. And I think Tom's just, wise enough to recognise that and change it up. It's probably not his natural style. He'd probably prefer to be smashing them from the front. Oh, I think he's missed that. He has missed that. Wasn't the easiest shot down the rail, but it was one you expected Tom Cousins to make. He has got a cover. He is going to force Ben Davies into moving that around. Ben would love to play a skill shot of some sort just to drop the red onto the yellow, but he needs to make sure he pots his red in the same shot.
A little bit of caginess going on now.
Well, Ben made Tom regret a safety shot in the last frame. This is just a containing
10
safety from Ben.
seconds.
He's going for the pot, top right. He was. Missed the pot. So I think we'll see Ben attack now. Those reds are all in the open, apart from the one obviously in the bottom left, but he's got a ball into this bottom right corner at some point that he can pot and try and develop the red in a one-way shape or form.
Extension called.
I think he'll be chomping at the bit to have a go at these.
Yeah, that's just the way he plays. Got to be a little bit careful about the red that's closest to the black as well, though. There's not a huge margin to get on that, just because of that yellow just below it. Well, he's gone for the difficult ball first up, and I can see why. If he makes that ball down the rail, it leaves him a beautiful angle on the one to the bottom right. But he hasn't made it, and it has left Tom a chance. It looks to me like a really nice angle to play this yellow he's closest to into the
10
left centre
seconds.
and top the cue ball through into the cluster of balls in the centre of the table. Not sure that's entirely the way he played that, but I think he'll take the result. It's not amazing.
It's not worked out too well, to be honest. You know, he's obviously looking at somewhere he can play a plant onto that red, and you can see what he's lining up there is some extravagant four-ball plant.
10 seconds.
Well, this is going to take some judging, but he's not wasting any time. Oh, it was almost there. But that actually makes it a bit easier for Ben.
Yeah, it does.
By just putting the yellow ball more over the corner pocket, it makes any plant skill shot combination just that a little bit easier.
10 seconds.
There's a couple of ways he could go about this. He could play the one into the centre now, take the white down, look to play the plant. He'll play it controlled, I think. Yeah, look at that. Needs the white ball to stop.
Oh, it's just about going to. Oh, heart would have been in Ben Davies' mouth there. It's still not great, though. The only ball he's nicely on, really, is the one that's on the bottom cushion, the right-hand cushion from this camera angle. He doesn't really have a nice angle to get the cue ball out, so his next shot's going to be tricky. Oh.
Oh, he played that well. He made that look a lot easier than it was.
It's just phenomenal. Cueing him off the cushion like that, in the jaws of a pocket. Fabulous. Fabulous by Ben Davies.
This match is warming up very nicely indeed. Both these guys know each other's game inside and out. They did win the World Doubles title this year. Know each other's games very well, and one of the things that they said about winning the doubles, they don't really need to talk much because they know exactly what the other's thinking.
Pot the balls.
Yeah. So this is really going to be a tough old battle.
They were absolutely phenomenal in that doubles final.
Just zipping the white round off a couple of cushions. You see that spin on that white ball with those 6 red dots. And this long black, no mistake.
Frame.
And it's Ben Davies who wins his second frame on the trot.
No mistake there with the sort of mid-distance black. So you've mentioned their doubles partners, Kev. Do you find it more difficult playing against someone you're sort of friends with?
No, not really. but I think that's just me because you know, back in the day when I did used to play, you know, I tended to actually play better against you know, people who I knew. So yeah, and that's
Frame
just the
number 4,
competitive,
and
you know,
Davies to
sort
break,
of
leading
nature
3 frames to 1.
that
Time
I
running.
had at the time. Well, I still have it, but it's slightly different now. But yeah, no, I sort of thrived on those matches. There's more pressure in them, definitely. But no, I didn't quite enjoy the challenge of those kind of matches.
Both of these players have got their brakes working. It's another big hit from Ben Davies.
That is a real thud.
It's just a couple of little issues for either colour set, really.
Extension called.
The yellows have got the yellow that's closest to the bottom right corner. For the reds, you've got the other one of those two balls and the one on the left-hand rail. So I think yellows are probably favourite.
Yeah, at some point he needs to get the white ball, maybe just you know, within about 6-8 inches of the black, in that sort of area, to try and pot the yellow that's in the middle of the line, black, yellow, to send the white onto the red that's just above the yellow on the right hand side, to free that up. So he's not in ideal position here. He might be forced to play a double.
Yeah, he's just been chasing these first couple of shots. Didn't have a nice positional shot from the break. I think the double would get him into good position.
No mistake. And this, I think this yellow that is onto the left corner may just give him that opportunity to get that white ball into the area that he wants. He's not hard enough. You could see he's thinking, but he needed another. It's absolutely dead straight. He needed just another 2 inches.
It's going to be really interesting to see how he approaches this now. He may have to leave that yellow for a double. I don't think there's any way he'll be able to get into it.
10 seconds.
30-second shot clock, of course. Doesn't have much time to make that decision. And he has left it for the double, so this is a massive shot. Got to make sure the cue ball gets past that red as well. The way the cue ball will throw off this
10
shot,
seconds.
it will hit the red. He's got to make sure that he doesn't end up welded to it and snookered on the...
Wow.
It's brilliant. It's just brilliant. He did make sure that he didn't get welded to the red because he absolutely leathered it. What a great shot.
Yeah, he needs to pull out another one. He's going to have to play this at pace. Get the white off the cushion. Yeah, he couldn't. It was just too straight. He just couldn't punch and create any angle. So he's just had to take his medicine and leave himself. This very tricky black. These are missable. Well, to humans, normal human beings they are.
Frame.
These players aren't human beings, Kev. Let's have another look at that double. What a brilliant shot this was. Like I said, the cue ball was always going to hit the red. He couldn't end up. He had to move it. Absolute perfection.
That was some clearance. That was some clearance indeed. Just shows these guys. I know Ben's been putting a fair bit of practice in.
Frame number 5. Tom Cousins to break. Trailing 3 frames
He's
to
one of
1.
the very
Time
few
running.
full-time players. But you can see what difference it does make. And again, a cut break for Tom, a lot better this time. Wow, balls falling in everywhere. I saw at least 3. I'm just trying to quickly count up. Was there 4?
It's a beauty, isn't it? He's caught these. He didn't quite catch his previous breaks as well as that, and he's got his rewards this time with just a brilliant
10
split.
seconds. Extension called.
Yep, 3 off the break. So, first glance, it looks like yellows, but he's just got that yellow. No, he's going reds. So I just can't quite tell that red near the left centre. Does that go in the middle?
Yeah, it goes.
Does it go past that yellow? If it does, then yeah, this is.
I don't think you'd want to hit it hard. I think it's one of those that you're sort of sliding off the near jaw.
I think these will be gone in 30 seconds. There won't be any need for the shot clock on any extension on this one. Very measured this morning, Tom, around the table. Not being rushed at all. Very methodical. Does he normally play at this speed?
Frame.
No mistake. Pretty clinical. Great break, great finish.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't call it slow, but I know what you're saying. It's, yeah. When the balls are there like that, he sort of rushes around the table sometimes and just pops them all.
Yep. Maybe it's just an appreciation of the importance. No silly mistakes. You know, they were there for the taking. Just taking a few extra seconds just to make sure, which he did. And over to Mr. Davies. Can he return the favour? Slightly longer races today than in the Open
Davies to
that
break,
you would have seen yesterday.
Time running.
The professionals, they play to 8.
Oh my word! It's another brilliant break. Tom Cousins. Sorry, Ben Davies even. Is hitting that break as well as he possibly could. It's a great split.
10 seconds. Extension called.
Phenomenal. It's such a great weapon to have, you know, in your locker. You know, break that big. And particularly on the TV table where the balls are spreading really well.
Really nice natural pattern here on reds, but I think he's just overhit that one a fraction.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. He just didn't quite get the enough bottom on it. The white just ran on a little bit extra, but no problem. He can spin the white round off 3 cushions effortlessly. Just the 3 this time.
Had he got the previous shot right, that's the thing I love about it. Had he got the previous shot right, he'd still have had the cue ball in this position for the next shot. He just had to come round off 3 cushions instead of screwing it back 6 inches. It's brilliant to watch. And now it should be just basically 3 straight shots to leave himself the black in the bottom left corner.
10 seconds.
Yeah, this is about as easy as it can get for these guys.
It is, but it really does show the difference, because I think even in the sort of top level of the amateur rankings, they probably wouldn't have made that finish look quite that easy. There was a lot of ways it could have gone wrong, and it's because you're watching someone like Ben Davies that it didn't. It's perfect.
Yes, and it's all about the pattern play. You know, because they take the balls out in the right order. That's the art, and that's the difference, as you say, down between the very best and the very good. It is about the patterns, taking them out in the right order, and just when they do that, they just make it look so easy. And as you say, you know, most mortals would have probably got the finish, but it might have been a lot more hard work. There might have been, you know, might have needed a nudge here or there to make it happen. But you know, these guys just make it look so easy.
Time running.
Just re-establishes his 2-frame lead, keeps Tom at bay, who looks like he's gone dry.
How has nothing gone in there? That left centre pocket, I thought something had to drop in that.
I think the black was the closest.
I think it may have been.
I mean, the black got some real movement going there.
It's just the way that red stopped on the edge, though.
Yeah.
I thought that was bound to be in. What an opportunity then for Ben Davies.
10 seconds. Extension call.
Yeah, just to let any viewers know who are again new to black ball, probably just watching it for the first time. If the black had gone in from the break, it would have just been, the referee would have just racked the balls up, and it would have been bent to break again. It's just as you were. So he's playing a clever little shot here. I'm not sure he played it off the yellow to hit the red. If he did, that's phenomenal. You would have expected him to probably glance off the first red, so he's developing that red.
I know what you're saying.
And then onto the red, but it was over the pocket.
I think he played it that way, just because otherwise he missed it by so far.
He could well have done. I mean, you know, these guys are phenomenal shot makers.
It's just brilliant vision, it really is.
And it's having the confidence, you know, to take those shots on. You know, he could have taken a far easier pot on and left that problem till later, but took the bull by the horns, got rid of the problem area, potted a red, and now he's reaping the benefits.
Ten seconds.
So you see Ben as well, similar style around the table, just taking his time, knows these are there for the taking, but just making absolutely sure what his path is, make sure the position is absolutely spot on. Because as we know in pool, you know, a centimetre either way, you know, out of position, can make all the difference.
Yeah, and often does. It really can be, you know, millimetres at times. At times you just need any angle and you're dead straight.
10 seconds.
Really throw your clearance off. But Ben Davies at the moment is looking absolutely perfect, although possibly a fraction too much angle on this one.
See, I'm surprised at that shot. I thought it'd have run through, taken the white more to the left, another 12, 18 inch, and then potted the last red into the right centre. I don't think he's got the perfect angle to get behind this black. So he's just going to punch the white across. As he got there,
Just.
That was a lot better shot than it looked, because to get the right amount of punch stun the white across, that is tricky.
Stretching on this though, these are missable. But he's not going to miss. He's just not going to miss.
I think he's just got up today and thought, I'm just not missing today. I'm having a day off missing.
This is brilliant from Ben. Tom's not even played that, but I mean, Tom's hardly made a mistake, really.
Well, he played a safety shot. And,
Yeah, well, that was his mistake, I guess.
He played a safety shot about 4 frames ago and pretty much sat down since.
What are you doing playing a safety shot against Ben Davies, really?
That'll teach him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Won't make that mistake again.
Frame number 8, Ben Davies to break, leading 5 frames to 2.
So it's day 2
Time
here
running.
of the IP event here in Bournemouth. The first tour stop of the season. We have 5 stops in total that are all be coming to you live and exclusive on the BBC.
Wow. Heartbreak for Ben Davies off that break.
Bow, 1 free shot.
Thought the
1
cue ball had
visit.
stayed out and then all
Time
of a
running.
sudden just knocked in by the last ball rolling.
He was threatening, thought he'd got away with it there, and then just the yellow and the red double kiss just to put the seal on that one. So a bit of a lifeline now for Tom. He certainly
10
needed one.
seconds.
Yes, he certainly did. Ben's been in unbelievable form. And you feel like this is a chance that Tom really has to take. It's certainly a chance that he should take. There's a little bit of development to do it in that top end of the table. It's a little bit congested with those yellows, but they do all go, and anything that needs moving can be moved, but wow, that is a massive error.
Yeah, I almost feel like he tried to be a little bit cute there.
Well, he did, but I mean, I can't believe it hasn't dropped. If you look at the overhead view, it's unbelievable
10
how far
seconds.
that yellow is in the pocket. It almost looks like it's more than half in.
Yeah, not only that, he left an open table.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So after the foul in black ball rules, when your opponent comes to the table, the first shot is a free shot. So it doesn't matter if you put anything, it doesn't really count. It just keeps you at the table. And then it's the first legal ball that you put after that
Reset the clock.
free visit. And he missed the pot and just handed the table back to Ben, who's going to really fancy his chances of taking these yellows. So it's just a matter of judging the pace on this one. He's going to pop this one into the right corner, just drift the white off with a little bit of right hand side, just to leave this nice plant. And this is looking good for a 6-2 lead.
It is. I think he's just got to be careful he doesn't pop both yellows with this shot. Yeah, played it really nicely. Made sure that that yellow would spring back off the cushion, just a half ball plant. He just
Time
left
off.
himself a slightly awkward angle to play it absolutely dead weight, because the cue ball would have welded itself to that red and he may have snookered himself.
Restart the clock, please.
Rest again. He's obviously not got his high heels on today. He's just going to screw this white down the left hand side of the table. Probably use the centre bag as a guide anywhere in that area. Yeah, he probably didn't get into that white ball as much as he would have hoped, but
It's good enough. There's no worries about where the cue ball's going after this black, because that red's in the way. So make sure of the pot, and it'll be 6-2.
no
Frame.
mistakes again from Ben Davies. This has been as clinical performance as you can get, really.
Let's have a look at this shot from Tom again. Exactly what he was trying to do. To be fair, you've got to say that's a little bit unlucky. It was so clever. If that had worked, we'd have been talking about what a brilliant shot it was, how clever it was, and how that yellow hasn't dropped, I don't know.
Yeah, just the first yellow hit just hit the red a little bit too fat and lost all its energy as it moved towards the yellow, and just didn't have enough to knock
Frame
it in.
number 9, Tom Cousins to break.
Let's have a quick
trailing
look at
6
some
frames to
scores.
2.
And wow, David
Time
Adnell
running.
5-1 up against Simon Fitzsimmons. We will come back to those shortly.
Yeah, another great break from Tom. Just the two this time, though. Just the two balls.
Just the two, and the slightly messier looking table. The cluster of 3 yellows would need developing, and that red in between those 3 yellows, well, I was going to say, is a little bit tricky to get onto, but what a way to do it first up. That's how you play this game. You attack the tricky areas early on, and then it all looks simple.
If only it was that easy, Dan.
It is. It's just that you've got to be able to do it.
Well, that's the stumbling point, isn't it? Yeah. Well, this is what years and years of practice have done. You know, these guys just playing at such a high level, very, very consistent. But it is a cutthroat game. Very
10
difficult for
seconds.
anyone to dominate on a consistent basis because of the cutthroat nature of the rules, the formats, and that's why it's so exciting.
Tom would be preferred not to be hampered by the black here, but he's still okay.
Where's that white going?
Just okay.
He hit that a little bit thinner. It went into the sort of right-hand side of the pocket, which meant there was more pace on the white ball afterwards. Anyway, he's okay. Easy black to narrow the gap, give himself hope in this match.
Graham.
Absolutely. Hope is what he needed. Let's have a quick look at some scores in the last 32 of the professional tournament. So we said David Adnell now 5-2 against Simon Fitzsimmons.
Yeah, and a fourth match down there, another mouth-watering match. Scott Gillespie and Mark Boyle. I mean, 2-3 to Boyle. So, yeah, that's got some mileage to go yet. John McAllister made short work of Ben Rowland. I think they played yesterday.
Frame number 10. Ben
Yeah, he
Davies
really
to
did
break.
make short work of him,
Leading
8-0.
6 frames
That's
to
a
3.
rarely
Time
seen
running.
scoreline in the professional ranks.
And we'll keep you updated on the ladies' event later on during the day as they come to the conclusion of that event. And we will be bringing you the final of the ladies. Maybe around 6 o'clock-ish if all goes to plan.
When does anything go to plan?
All the time now. We were almost on schedule yesterday. We're not far off. Only 10 minutes over. That's pretty good for live sport.
Could be
10
worse. You're
seconds.
absolutely right.
And we've had a lot
Extension
worse in
called.
the past. We've had some that have ended it in the early hours. Which, you know, the production team here always enjoy a late night. Do they get overtime? I'm not sure if we pay them overtime.
No comment. Great shot from Ben to open us up. He's chosen the yellows. Should make light work of these, really. But the left hand of those 3, that's what he wants to get on, because that ball doesn't go to either of the bottom corners. So he needs to play to either centre pocket, and then he can go back up the table.
Just got into that one a little bit too much. He should be okay, but we'd have preferred that white to have been a little bit lower down the table. But he's got to take this yellow now into the right centre. It's just whether he leaves himself a plan afterwards or whether he takes the one over the pocket directly, and the way he's played that absolutely fantastically. Although it's one of those little awkward ones. He's probably about an inch short of pace.
Yeah, this is awkward. He doesn't. Again, it's a bit like the previous frame before the last one, where it's perfect. He didn't want to play it straight onto the yellow and risk potting both, because then he would have ended up snookered. But also he didn't want to play it soft enough to stop that happening, because then he might have ended up snookered on the next yellow. So the way he played it was excellent.
Yeah, this has been absolutely faultless from Ben Davies. This has been one of the best performances we've seen from any player. I mean, he's literally made 0 mistakes in the 7 frames he's won.
Performance of the year so far?
It's certainly up there. It is certainly up there. I mean, this has just been sublime. I mean, I can't really think of any other words to describe it. It's been absolutely top draw.
Back to the scores then.
Just the bottom match there, Corey Rees, Craig Marsh, another Old Welsh battle. Craig, 2017 world champion, and Corey, one of the young blood coming through.
Frame number 11,
they'll be coming up
Tom
next
Cousins
on
to
our
break.
screens following the conclusion of this match. So don't go anywhere, folks, because it's just going to be great match after great match all day long today. So we really hope for you enjoy what we're bringing you here, because these are the best players in the world, and it's not every day you'll get to see them doing what they do.
No, absolutely. But as so often is the way, when your opponent is playing as well as Ben Davies is right now, when you're Tom Cousins, your break isn't quite coming out all that nicely. Although he's fluked a red. He's fluked 2 reds. Is he on a red? No, he's absolutely not. That could not have gone much worse. He was definitely playing that yellow. I think he clipped the other yellow that he was closest to. I sort of can't describe that shot. There was so much going on.
I think desperation is a word that comes to mind. I think he knows 7-3. He's
you restart the time, please.
The chance of him coming back against the form that Ben's in and the way he's breaking is pretty slim, and I think he pretty much just threw everything at that one.
Well, it may, like you say, it may have been out of frustration. I thought that he was on the yellow that he was straight to the bottom right, but I did think it was very, very close to that yellow that the cue ball was closest to, and obviously he's just clipped it.
And that's gone completely wrong.
I mean,
he must have potted a red and a yellow, so it was still an open table.
Did he? I thought he potted 2 reds.
I think he was just getting some clarification from the referee before he played that shot.
I mean, maybe that's me, but I didn't see a yellow go in.
We'll see if we can get that shot up. Wow, that's come out pretty well. We'll see if we can get that shot that Tom played. We'll see if we can. Well, it's certainly one to watch back on the iPlayer, that's for certain.
Yeah, absolutely is. Ooh, now that's not quite enough on that attempted safety shot for me. From Tom.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit despondent, I think, to be fair, is Tom. He's
10 seconds.
So there was the break. There was a red and a yellow.
Well, how many yellows were left after his second shot?
Well, there must have been, because there's 4 there. Well, we'll have to try and work that one out.
10 seconds.
Oh, what a cut.
Wow.
How's he potted that?
Where's the white?
Oh, it's going to open it up as well. But he's not on it. Oh.
But whilst it was a great shot, it's desperate times for a player who's 7-3 down.
Wow, this has been... I mean, if he gets these, he's taking on the cut again, I think. I don't even think this is possible, but... Well, he's definitely potted a red this shot, and he definitely hasn't potted a yellow. So...
Well,
it might even have been a push shot, that. I mean, there's so much going on. Tom's laughing away in the corner, and I can't blame him.
Yes, I think he's known for a while his race is run in this match, and he's just literally been throwing the kitchen sink at some of these shots. Ben's just been faultless, and not really much anyone in the world could have done with the performance that Ben's put in.
I think Ben's just got to be a little bit careful now, because Tom's sort of having a laugh and a joke, and it would be easy for Ben to relax here. And if he does take his foot off the gas and play one silly shot, that would be all it would take, because then Tom would be back at 7-4. He'd be to a certain extent back in the match. Yeah,
Ben's just not that kind of player, though. He's he's very professional in the way he goes about his business. He's still playing at the same pace that he was in frame one, and at the same pace that he's going to finish this match off now in these next two shots. It's been a fantastic performance.
It really has been a fantastic performance from Ben Davies.
And
he is the winner in this last 32 match. He goes through to the last 16. Just perfection from the Welshman. Now we're going to have a quick look at some of the scores. Still going on in the last 32.
Right, sorry.
We're going to try to anyway.
And delighted to be joined by the winner of our latest match, that last 32 battle, Ben Davies, Tom Cousins. Ben, that was as good a performance I think you could have hoped for. I mean, it was pretty faultless.
Yeah, definitely happy with that for first game this morning. Usually a bit rusty first game, but I came out the blocks quite fast, and I'm happy the way I settled down. And I was a bit nervous at the start, but once the nerves settled, I played quite well. I was comfortable.
Well, quite well. I think that's a bit of an understatement. I mean, it was from the commentary box. It looked pretty faultless to me. I mean, obviously, you know what you're up against Tom, good friend. You know, do you find those matches difficult when you're playing them? I mean, you won the world doubles together 4 or 5 weeks ago. You know, do you find those matches hard to focus, hard to concentrate?
No, I'm kind of used to it now, because obviously I've got quite a few mates local that play on the tour, and I've played against them for years, and kind of learn how to block it out then, if you know what I mean. But he's a class player, and he obviously didn't really get much chance there, to be fair. Like, obviously I took most of my chances, but on another day it could quite easily be the opposite scoreline. Like.
Yeah, you mentioned early morning. 11:30 starts quite early for us pool players. Is that something that you're sort of used to now, or are you one of these that'll get better as the day goes on? Although I'm not sure how you're going to improve on that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm definitely one that prefers playing after 12 o'clock, but half 11 is not bad, considering you can get like 9, 10 o'clock draws. So it's not too bad.
Okay, well Ben, well played, great performance, and hopefully see you later on during the day.
Cheers, thanks, Kev.
Fantastic performance there from Ben Davies. He dispatches Tom Cousins and takes his place in the last 16 of the professional event.